There was a photo development tray lying on the floor. Some leftover negatives were sticking out, but they were pretty blurry. I thought I saw what looked like treetops. The front door was blocked by a pile of furniture. I knew I had to find another way out. Oh! The door was taped up and seemed to be stuck. By the smell, I guessed it led to the kitchen. Damn door was locked, but it didn't look like there was a keyhole. Maybe I could find another way to open it. I guess I'll go upstairs. Oh yeah, that's the dead body that I just saw. What's this? Oh, what's that? Oh. That's the dead body. What's that? The desk had a computer and some papers on it and a single drawer. I didn't want to snoop, but did I open the drawer? Yes. Receipts, pens, and a blurry photo. Looked like a store of some kind. Why did this look so familiar? Blood on the wall. It smelled fresh and sickening. I realized there was blood on my shoes and pants. Oh man, I had to get out of there. The shelf was full of books on local history and hunting. It seemed like the owner of the house really knew the area. Oh. An old dining table covered in dirty dishes for two people. There were dozens of beer cans and other liquor bottles among the dishes. The smell was turning my stomach. A black and white photo looked like the man upstairs and his wife, I guess. There was no reason for me to keep this. Did I take it? Yes. I slipped the photo into my pocket. Maybe this would help me find some answers. Guess I go. What was this? A thin gray mouse was stuck in a trap. It looked frantic but exhausted. Did I free it? Sure. A collection of rusty tools. These looked like they'd seen lots of use and were caked in damp smelling dirt. Why weren't they in the shed? A photo similar to the old one I picked up. It had been moved a lot. There seemed to be a switch behind it. Did I push the switch? It depressed smoothly into the wall. I heard a faraway click somewhere. I guess it's this one. Is there anything that... Did I go this way already? Okay, so... Oh, I bet it's the door that was locked down there. It seemed odd that the tray had been left there, considering how clean the rest of the bathroom was. Okay, nothing in the bathroom. Oh, that's right, the furniture's blocking that. Oh, it did open this. There were sheets of paper all over the kitchen table. It looked like a series of names were written down, but they were too smudged to read. I could only make out a few of the notes. Keycard, locker, last one I promise. It didn't make much sense at the time. The switch in the wall appeared to have unlocked the door. The box looked heavy, but there were marks on the floor. It had obviously been moved before. Maybe I had found a way out. I must have moved it, right? Yes. I heaved the box forward, and it finally gave. There was a ladder going underground where the box was. A dank smell rose from the passage. Did I climb down the ladder? I looked again at the photo I found in the house. The couple looked distant, like they didn't want to be in the same picture. I wonder where the wife was. My leg was in terrible shape, but I had to get out. Footprints in the dirt looked like more than one kind, and a lot of traffic. Places all over were marked on the old map of town, the industrial area near the river, various houses, and even the water tower near the old rail station. Newspaper clippings from the local paper, they were all about murders in town over the last few years. Wait, there were photos of our house. What the hell was that about? Maybe I should have looked around more, tried to find some kind of information. A work table covered in papers, dirt, and a handgun. I hated guns. I didn't take it, did I? Yes. I tucked the small handgun into my pocket. Its weight was somehow reassuring. It was so dark down there, and the air smelled stale and putrid. I couldn't believe what I saw. What was this place? Some kind of homemade rack slung together with poorly cut wood and rope. It was caked with old blood. Somebody didn't actually use that, did they? The desk looked old and was caked with grime. On it was a stack of old faded paper covered with what looked like names. They were scratched out and illegible notes were written beside them in faded blue ink. I could only make out a few letters. Oh. None of it made any sense to me. There looked to be bones half dug into the ground, and remains looked old. The faded clothes that stuck among the dirt looked familiar. They looked like the clothes that the woman was wearing in the photo I found. Was this the man's wife? Crudely made shelves. They looked like they were holding cans of some kind of corrosive. The labels were worn and slick, but I could still see the warnings. It looked like a cage. It was small, but there was something coating the bottom, something wet. Some kind of old boxes. They looked like they were years old. Wait a minute, these boxes had old clothes in them. Clothes I remember throwing out after Rachel and I moved to town. What the hell were they doing there? There wasn't anyone there. Was I hearing things? I remember noticing the broken ladder. I had to be careful. There was a rope hanging there. I wasn't sure how sturdy it was. Did I take it? Yes. Maybe the rope would make that broken ladder easier to descend. Ooh. The rope I found would have let me climb down the broken ladder safely. Did I climb down? Yes. I could hear a faint hum, and the smell from before started to get worse. A bunch of old newspapers, wheat pasted together. A message had been hastily smeared on it. Keep out, danger due to cave-in. I could still feel a faint impression of the rope I had slid down as I pressed against the heavily metal door. It was probably for the best that I hadn't jumped in. The ache in my leg was bad enough as it was. If I could have, though, I would have run straight out of those awful tunnels. Who would keep such a place? At least I thought I had found that old handgun. It seemed to work, and from the smell of it, it had been used already. I kept the gun in my pocket. It seemed a familiar weight there. There was dirt on the ground. It looked wet, and there was grass smeared within it. I could hear a faint trickling sound like water. What was that? A kitchen knife covered in drying blood. Thinking about it made me sick. I didn't even want to touch it. Did I take the knife? Yes. I slipped a knife in my boot since I had the gun in my pocket. Did I really need all of this? Oh, let me see what's in here first. Okay, there was a rusty ladder sunk in the water, which I smelled disgusting. I knew I couldn't climb down that. Maybe I could find a way to drain the putrid water. Well, I need to go back in here and go right first. Let's see what's this way. Oh, there's all these doors. This door was locked. There was a musty smell from inside. I thought I could turn this water valve to shut off the flow. Did I turn it? Yes. So now... I wasn't sure, but I thought it was some kind of regulator. I had no idea how it worked. I thought I could turn this water valve to shut off its flow. Did I turn it? I thought I could turn this water valve to shut off its flow. Did I turn it? Yes. Yes. Okay, they've all been turned. Did I go in there already? Oh yeah, I did go in there. The door was locked. There was a musty smell from inside. Why wasn't I able to go in there now? Well, disgusting. It was a mess of filthy garbage bags. There were rips and tears in most of the bags. What looked like an old videotape was sticking out. Did I take the tape? Yes. I wasn't sure what I hoped to discover with the tape, but I took it anyway. Okay, I gotta go figure out what I did wrong over here. Number one. Looked like I turned off the water flow in this valve. Okay. Number two. I thought I could turn this water valve to shut off. Did I turn it? Yes. I thought I could turn this water valve to shut it off. Did I turn it? Yes. Looked like I turned off the water flow in this valve. Okay, so I guess I just missed two of those. Oh no, it's not that one anyway. Wait a minute, why can't I... It's probably gotta be a certain one. Oh, the lighter spot. I see. Oh, smart. There we go. Okay, that one's right. Didn't even notice. There we go. Yay! Looked like the water drained out of that grate in the wall. There was a small metal key left floating in the shallow. Did I take it? Yes, I pocketed the small key, but it was so odd shaped, I had no idea what it might open. Well, we're gonna find out. The safety poster had definitely seen better days. How old was this facility? Okay. The door was locked. I could see a faint light within. I found another dead body, a sewer worker. By the wounds all over his face and body, I figured he'd been stabbed repeatedly. There was a key ring sticking out of the man's pocket. Did I take it? Yes. I thought about the knife I had found with some disgust as I carefully picked the keys from this pocket. I was almost worried he was going to grab me. There was a hint of fresh air here. I must have been near an exit, but I wondered, what did that key I found on the sewer worker do, and what was on that videotape I found? See how dramatic I am with it. I made my way up to the ladder as best as I could on my leg. Would I really need that gun or that knife before the end? I wondered what was on that VHS tape I found, or in that locked room. Should I have gone back to check? My head was so buzzing with questions and tired thoughts as I ascended the ladder. Suddenly, as I lifted the heavy lid above me, I could smell fresh old pine trees. Hey, I saw eyes right there. I tried the little key I had fished out of the murky puddle in the sewers. It fit, and I heaved open the rusty door. The wind was picking up a bit. The night air had become strangely chilly. Oh, probably gotta go back this. Oh, wait a minute. Oh. The old train station was quiet as a tomb. The only sound was that of an increasing wind buffeting the decrepit structure. Oh, there's so many different ways to go. I don't want to get lost. The ancient ticket booth was fallen apart and covered in dust and grime. Stacks of paper lined the counter, faded remains of old schedules and reports. Among the papers were some newer-looking sheets covered in scribbles and illegible notes. Come to think of it, the man in that house had kept similar scribbles hidden on his bookshelf, and he had notes on the water tower outside, too. I guess he could have been coming here, but why? What was he using this old station for? This guy even looks like me. Got red hair. An old map encased in glass hung on the wall. It was the train routes connected to the old station. As I looked at it, it seemed familiar. Of course, the map I found in those tunnels had similar locations marked, and the notes I found on the other man's bookshelf. His notes mentioned the water tower and even this train yard. What was he doing coming back here? The old train was ripped open, and hanging from a shred of metal as well as the broken fence was a dark stained patch of cloth. It looked synthetic, like some kind of outerwear. Inside the train shell I could see a few faint impacts like wounds. Could they have been bullet marks? Was somebody shot there? The ground was well worn, though I couldn't really make anything out. I realized I was touching the gun I had found as I thought. Oh. Okay. Guess I don't. I guess I gotta go back in here. Oh, wait a minute. Gotta go back out that middle door. And go back through this door. And then go right. I was relieved to be above ground again. I figured I should keep moving. Oh. Oh. Okay, I thought I went all the way left. There's a ladder right there. An old ladder leading up to an ancient water tower. The ladder needed to be extended so I can climb down. Did I extend the ladder? Yes. I popped the latch and brought the ladder down. Okay. In a patch of smeared dirt and grass, there was a beat-up old wallet. I thought it was mine. Did I take it? Yes. I slid the filthy wallet into my back pocket. I noticed it didn't contain any kind of gun permit. In fact, it didn't contain any ID cards of any kind. I thought I should recover my credit card and driver's license at least. From the railing, I could see over the woods and down into the entrance to the sewers. Had I come through there before? If I did, someone definitely could have seen me. This must have been the entrance to the forest that was mentioned on the map. Whoever was poking around these tunnels underneath that house had scribbled notes on this place, but I couldn't make them out. Here the sign pointed out various campsites and walking paths within the woods. It mentioned a river and maybe a washroom, but the rest was too faded to see clearly. What the hell was that? Oh, it was a path. Okay, I'll come back to that. Oh, I guess I gotta go to that. Trampled in the dirt and grass was a plastic card of some kind. I brushed it off and I was surprised to see it was my credit card. I wasn't sure if it was still unusable, but it was mine. Did I take my credit card back? Yes. I pocketed the credit card. Hopefully I could find my driver's license too. Through the fence I could see a dilapidated outbuilding. I wondered if I could find my way around. Oh, probably through this. Oh. Oh, wait a minute. Now, what's this? There were some personal effects shoved back into the rock. Wait, there was a notebook there too. Did I read it? Inside the cheap dollar store notebook was a page after worn page of names and lists, none of which made sense. The newest page contained several names: Heather, Olivia, Ashley, Cheryl, Iris, Daphne, Holly, Rose. Rachel, her name was last on the list and had a mark beside it in blue ink. The names Daphne and Olivia had been crossed out in the same blue ink. Cheryl, Heather, and Rose had also been crossed out, but those looked like they were older and more faded. Hmm. Wait a minute, how many of these? A few embers still burn within the fire pit. Who was camping here? Was it? Who else is out here in these woods? Oh. One of those two folding camping chairs was knocked over and there was beer. Where did the campers run off in such a hurry? There was a cheap two-person dome tent. Though the screen on the front, I could see two sleeping bags, backpacks, and a small cooler. As I peered into the tent and around the campsite, I kept thinking about the names in that book. The quiet of the forest was suffocating. I couldn't help but feel as I was being watched. Okay. Okay, there's 3 of these. Oh my god. Okay, go back in this one. Okay, I'm back there. And then go into this. Wait a minute. Where's the one with the 3? I gotta get in there. Okay, here's the one with the 3. What's down here? That's this stuff. Let's go in this one. Oh. Oh, that's bees. No, 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 don't. Oh, here we go. The grimy sink had a small patch in it that looked almost clean. A musty wood plank propped up the stall door. It didn't really seem useful. Did I bother to take it? Sure. I wasn't sure why, but I took the plank. You never know. Might have to walk over it or something. No, 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 no. There's bees there. Oh, wait a minute. I should have went. Yeah, hold on. I gotta go back in there. And go in this one. Oh. Oh, I finally found the exit. Once I left, I knew I never wanted to return there. Oh. Well, look at me. Though the dense trees, I could finally start to see some light. I must have been at the edge of the forest, although I wasn't sure where the path I had made led. I could almost feel the cryptic notebook in my pocket as I tried to think about what it could mean. And where were those campers who had abandoned their site? They're in Packanack Lodge. Would I meet them too? Though the path ahead of me was less dense, I still felt guarded and worried. Who knew what was ahead? As I stepped through the gate, I suddenly recognized the auto parts factory where I had worked as a machinist for all those years. The plant had closed almost 3 years ago now. Times were better then. I thought I could hear a faint rustling behind me. Maybe it was just the wind. Oh. Oh. I found the body of the security guard just doing his job, no doubt. His face was covered in blood with some kind of head wound. I wondered, was this the flashlight his? Dug in the ground was a cracked old watch. First my wallet and now this. Do I retrieve my watch? Yes. The watch was useless, but I put it on my wrist anyway. Oh. One of the lockers hung open. Its contents were tossed around like someone had been looking for something. The door was locked. There was a little trunk box under the handle. A sign was pasted, "Danger closed for repairs." There was a large power box with 5 lights. Cable burst out of the box, sneaking out. The metal was starting to wear and the cobwebs that collected out the box wasn't receiving power. Alright, let me go back back to this other door. Or upstairs. Every part of this plant smelled old and rotted. I noticed the old bulletin board on the wall. The board contained yellowed clippings of newspaper cartoons and notices. There were notes to and from the guys that worked here. One of them was to Norman, who was one of the older guys on the line. A power panel. Looked like it was shut off. Did I push the switch? The open locker was stuffed with dirty work clothes and old boots. There was a photo of a woman taped to the inside, but it was scratched out and the face was unrecognizable. A power panel looked like it was shut off. Did I push the switch? It was shut tight. There was a rusty card on the side. Slot on the side. Our old break table. The layer of dust and grime only made seeing this more. Okay, gotta go upstairs. The door had been hastily boarded up. There was Norman's locker. The door was dented like someone had punched it. I don't remember him doing that when we worked here. Another panel. Utility shelf crammed with mismatched tools and items. There was a claw hammer on the shelf. Did I take the hammer? Sure. It wasn't as dusty as the rest of the tools on the shelf. Yes, take that card so we can get into that. Wait a minute. Oh, I think these need to be... Oh, okay, that one's green. There we go. They all have to be green. That one's green. And... oh, that's where I just came out of. So I go back down the stairs to the left. I think. The key card I found seemed like it would pass through this reader. Did I use the key card? Yes. I slid the card through the old reader and turned the handle. There was some kind of ventilation hatch there. It looked like I could jump to the room below. My leg hurt enough as it was, but I couldn't see another option. Did I jump in? Oh man, my leg hurt like hell. That poor guard. Was the flashlight I carried his? It looked like he had met his end violently. I only hoped it was quick. I had to get home to Rachel, but I couldn't stop thinking about Norman. He and Rachel were friends. Could he help? It wasn't like I really had anyone else to turn to. My leg burned with pain. I only hoped I could find my way through this dark path before me and get to Norman's store. The garbage bin was a disgusting mess of rotten food in slick black bags. I saw a thin greenish corner poking out from one of the bags. It was my driver's license. It looked damaged. Did I take it back? Yes. I cleaned the card off as best I could. It looked pretty beat up. I was amazed to have found my credit card. Now this. I tucked the card into my wallet next to my credit card. Sounded like it was going to start raining again. I had entered Norman's place. This was the back of the store that he ran. It was oddly quiet except for the faint sound of a television. Okay, let's go upstairs. What the hell? One of Rachel's old autumn coats hung on the rack? That was Norman's bedroom, wasn't it? What was this doing there? Uh-oh. Dun dun dun! Inside the cabinet was a small but impressive collection of hunting rifles, shotguns, and even a few items I didn't think that were legal here. One of the slots on the rack was empty. The gun I had seemed to match the others there. If the handgun was Norman's, what the hell was he doing with it? The gun would fit there. Did I place it back in the cabinet? Nah. Though it weighed on me, I had a hard time parting with the weapon just then. We probably need the gun. Probably have to shoot somebody. This game is short, by the way. It said it was like a little over an hour. The TV still flickered some indecipherable channel. Oh no, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Norman, my coworker, and one of the few friends I had in this town lay dead beside his armchair. His face and shirt were covered in blood. It looked like he had been shot trying to get up. His eyes were wide with shock, though they were already drying. Norman, what was Rachel doing here? Why did you have her coat? Norman, maybe you deserve better. You probably did. Did I close his eyes? Yes. I closed his eyelids down, shuddering as I did so. I wasn't sure if I wanted to give him peace or if I just couldn't stand to think anymore about what was going on. I guess this was Norman's kitchen table. He kept it clean enough, but there was water rings from 2 cups still there in the wood. The kitchen trash bin smelled fresh. I didn't dig. Yes, you dig through it. I found a hairpin amongst the rotting food and trash and pocketed it. Okay. Looks like Norman was having an affair with Rachel. Somebody got killed over it. Let's go downstairs. I need to check that place out so I can to see if I can help it or get help. Oh, I didn't realize that was the exit. I used the hairpin to pick the lock. The hairpin snapped in half, so I threw it away. The general store was small, but it was clean. It had the usual things: postcards, snacks, magazines, and canned goods. I never went there much. Rachel usually stopped by after work to see if we needed anything. The register was mostly empty, and a fat stack of travel magazines sat beside it. The icebox seemed to be unplugged. It must have been off for a while. Most of its contents were half melted. There were various postcards from the area, especially from the tourist traps. One of the postcards showed an old black and white photo of the water tower. It looked to be in much better shape then. What of him lying on that floor was up there was sickening. The only comfort I had was the gun I still carried, but was it really a comfort or a curse? The rain was coming down hard, but at least I was close to being home. It wouldn't be long before I got my answers. This wasn't the right gate. Okay. The gate was locked tight. This wasn't my house. This wasn't your house. The neighborhood's local post box, the letter was sticking out as if someone hadn't pushed it all the way in. I knew it wasn't right. Did I look at the letter? Yes. There was no return address, but the envelope was addressed to Norman. Carefully, I tore it open and looked at what the letter said. It read, "Stay away. She's mine." That was it. No signature, no other information. Oh, boy. This one was locked. I had entered our backyard. The rain gave me a terrible sense of foreboding, and it chilled me through the clothes. I was expectant, but also afraid. Dun dun dun. Where is Rachel? I held my breath as I approached my our back door. I was terrified to step inside. The house was painfully quiet. The only sound was my own breathing, ragged and strained. I flickered the light switch by the door. The power was off. I remembered having breakfast here on this very table. Was that yesterday or sometime before? The door to the basement was locked. Where had I put that damn key? There was a small pile of mail on the floor in front of the mail slot. How long had I been away? Why hadn't Rachel picked this up? Most of the contents were bills. There was a credit card bill there. Did I open it? I ripped the bill open and read it. To my surprise, it said something about canceling my credit card due to non-payment. What the hell? The front door was locked from the inside. I couldn't go out. I need to see if Rachel was here. Okay, so let's go upstairs. The door was stuck shut. There was an old-fashioned keyhole underneath the key handle. I had found the last missing piece from my wallet. The old photo of Rachel and I stared back and reminded me of the better times. It didn't make me feel terribly comfortable, did it? Keep it anyway? Yes. I replaced the photo of my wallet, feeling like I had got part of my life back. Still, the image made me feel uneasy. Why had I thrown it away? Our television. I had purchased it before I knew I was going to lose my job. I felt pretty guilty about it afterwards, but then it was too late. Okay, so we gotta go up the stairs. Or in that door, yeah, up the stairs. The books there were half mine, half Rachel's. Hey, now that looked more closely. It looked like the man in that house had some of the same books as I did. There was a suitcase on the bed. It was Rachel's. I remembered it from that trip we took out west. Did I open the suitcase? Yes. I wasn't sure what to make of the suitcase content. Inside there were a few days worth of clothes, some toiletries, and a train ticket. Where was she planning to go? The plot thickens. Our hallway mirror had been smashed as pieces scattered all over the floor. Our sink, which needed to be replaced, one of the taps always stuck, but I hadn't got around to fixing it yet. We were lucky enough to get a house with one of those wonderful old claw-footed bathtubs. Okay, well that room was a waste. My laptop had been left on and only had a tiny bit of power left. On the screen was a website about the old water tower. There was a key in the top drawer of my desk. Did I take it? Yes. I pocketed the key. Now we gotta go back downstairs. The door was stuck shut. There was an old-fashioned keyhole underneath the handle. But I thought I got the key. Did I take the key? Can I see my... Oh, I don't want to quit. I was just... I thought I... Maybe it was down here. I unlocked the basement door. Okay, here we go. There were old Christmas decorations in the box. The garbage bags were stuffed with old paint cans and supplies. There was a dirty old key here. Did I take the key? Yes. I took the small key and tried to remember what it unlocked. There were old clothes, tools, and other things we obviously hadn't thrown out yet. Okay. Oh. I had put up this divider wall last summer so we could separate a room to had finishes, so the door was stuck and the drywall was poorly. I might have been able to break through if I found something heavy enough. Okay, well, we'll have to find something. Maybe it's in that room. No, wrong door. Wrong door. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, wrong door. Gotta go upstairs. It looked like the room had been tossed around. The furniture was a mess. Did somebody break in here? There was an old crowbar on the floor. Did I need to take the crowbar? Yes. And that's what I gotta go back to the basement with. I think it was the basement. I'm so confused now where I'm at. As I stepped through the broken wall, my breath caught in my throat. That was it. Was Rachel down there? Was she okay? Oh, God. Wait a minute. Don't look. A filthy-looking pile of rags had been dumped in the corner. The stench of them was awful. It made my eyes water. I was terrified to even touch the pile to see what lay within, but I knew I had to. I had come this far. After all the searching, after all I'd seen, when I looked within the rags, did I finally find my Rachel? Yes. Wrapped within the filthy rags, pale and still, was Rachel. She was covered in fading bruises and what looked like cuts. Her chest was a horrible mess of blood and dirt, and I couldn't bear to look at it. The knife in my boot, the gun in my pocket, were they the tools of her murder? I thought about all I had seen and wondered if any of it would help me figure out who done this. And when I couldn't stay there any longer, I stepped away on shaky legs and made my way back upstairs. Reluctantly, exhausted from my journey, I could no longer resist the urge to close my eyes. Oh. So now what? Go back to the basement? Oh wait, this is the bathroom. Alright, where's the basement at? I couldn't go back down, not until I'd gone over everything. I needed to make sure I was perfectly clear. Well, what am I supposed to... I guess I need to click on everything again. My old office safe sat on the floor. I used to keep tax records and other important documents in it. I used the digital passcode lock, but I didn't have the code. Maybe I left it somewhere. I leafed through the notebook I had taken from the fort. There were names that had been written down. I recalled the names as I scratched on the... Okay, so I need a code for the safe. It was the letter I had taken from the postbox. Who had it out for Norman? Who sent him that letter? It must have been someone from the neighborhood, or at least someone wanted to look that way. I wasn't sure what to think. Did he murder Rachel? Maybe whoever sent that letter wanted to stop him or do the deed himself, but I was sure it was Norman who killed Rachel in the end. You bastard, Norman. I trusted you. We both did. What was going through your head? Why would you possibly want to do that? Despite his betrayal, Norman got what he deserved, but it wasn't me who killed him. Somebody else obviously got to him already. So who sent that threatening letter? I still had no idea what was on that tape I found in the garbage. I've only found a way to watch it. From now on, I'd have no one to get angry with me for stupid things like buying this TV. The old VCR had long since broken down and I never bothered to replace it. Okay. Right, done in this room. I guess go upstairs. Within the few broken pieces that remained of the mirror, I could see my face had grown pale. I couldn't bear to look again. It was like I didn't actually expect a reflection. I felt empty and drained. The reflection in that grimy glass was only a shadow, a whisper. I still loved the old-time charm of that clawfoot bath, though it seemed like a cold comfort then. The mystery thickens. It was the key card I found in the factory, the one that allowed me to slip through that door. It seemed to me that it was probably Norman's, but if that wasn't true, what was he doing back at the plant? Did I think Norman was going back to the factory? Who else would have been? Norman, what were you doing back there? The laptop was dead, but I found some notes and loose paper in the drawer where I'd found the key. There was a yellow sticky note with an 8-digit code on it. Did I take it? Okay, now I gotta go find the safe. But let me go to the left, just in case oh, what's this? This was the old photo of the other man and his wife. I soon found it in that house. I recall what he had done here. Well, now what did you think? Was the man involved in the whole mess somehow? Yes, definitely those tunnels, the all tools in his house, the remains of his wife, for sure. It was my wallet with its contents. Either I dropped that stuff or somebody else did. Maybe I was sleepwalking again, or maybe somebody stole it from me. Norman's drawer, that forest, was I at all those places before? Yeah, I didn't see how it could have happened any other way. I must have been the one to lose my wallet and its contents, but what does that mean? Maybe I would use some of Rachel's travel books and find some place to go. Okay. Looks like we're getting to the end. Back downstairs. The code I found should have left me exit. Did I try to open it? Yes, the code worked. I pulled open a small safe and peered inside. There was a photo in there of Rachel and I when we had first moved to town. In it, we were smiling outside the front of the house, which looked like a real mess. We looked happy, though. Odd. I couldn't remember who took that photo. Inside the safe was also an envelope. The front of it read, "Do not open until I tell you." I guess this was a good time as any to see what it was inside. Did I open up the envelope? Yes. I tore open the envelope and removed the yellow lined paper inside. On it was a letter written in a hand that looked familiar. The letter read, "I know this whole event has probably been pretty difficult. You can't imagine how hard it's been for me, too. Well, maybe you can. That isn't meant to be an excuse, but, well, I hope you can better understand why I've done what I've done. Moving to this town seemed like such a dream, a quiet place to get established, to live out our lives and be together. But you know as well as I that things change quickly. Your drinking was one thing, but as you grew more distant, as you retreated into that world of yours, well, it was clear you didn't need me as much. In fact, maybe you never needed me at all, but it looked you'll be healthier for this. I'm just sorry that it had to happen this way, Rachel." Was he the responsible? But I found him dead. Okay. Well, I took the knife and kept it firmly in my hand. If I wanted to end it, I could do it. I could do it with that gun. Did I pick it up again? Yes. It was like I was carrying an anvil, but I wouldn't let it. Not again. I need to put an end to the situation one way or another. I need to put an end to the situation one way or another. Oh, wait a minute. Isn't that where Rachel's... Okay. It seemed like that mail had been there for a while. That was it. With Rachel gone, I couldn't stand to be in that house a moment longer, but I had the gun again and that knife. This wasn't the only way to end this, I knew. But did I leave and say goodbye to that nightmare forever? Yes. Living in this town hadn't been easy. The plan had helped me in some ways to stay grounded. It kept me in line, gave me something to do, and helped me get away from my past. When the factory closed, everything changed. I guess that was when I had started sleepwalking, disappearing for hours at night. I had MRIs and piles of doctor's reports, but nothing seemed to help, not even drinking. But I swear I've tried to give it up. I know it. The sleepwalking never really went away, though. But I know Rachel had tried. I know she had tried to be there for me, even when everything was falling apart. This night had unearthed terrible truths, but I knew it was the final act of a long-standing horror I'd been living. Waking up in that house tonight was the final cruelty. I wish I had remained unconscious in that room forever. It was obvious to me that the man I had found in that house had something to do with all this. Could he have killed Rachel? It started to seem that there were too many things I had seen to think otherwise. Now that I thought of it, those sewers were a terrible mystery. What happened there? I was lucky in my way to even find my way out of there, but I never did find out what was on that tape that I now kept. What might it have shown me? I had found the contents of my wallet scattered throughout town. Why the hell had I been out there? Why the hell had I been out there? Had my sleepwalking gone to some new extreme? The thought that I couldn't account for my whereabouts, but knew I had been to the forest, even Norman's place, well, it was terrifying. I didn't know what that meant, but at least I had recovered my things. Hopefully, I thought that would cover my tracks, so I wouldn't be blamed for all this. Deep within those woods, though, was where things became truly awful. Finding that notebook only made things worse. Rachel's name had been on that list, so what terrible plot was she a part of? There was a similar list of names on the desk back in those tunnels. What was the connection? I knew Norman wasn't completely innocent in all of this. He was obviously going back to the factory, rooting in those lockers. But had he brought that poor guard I had found to his inn? Had he brought that poor guard I had found to his inn? It certainly seemed so, but I almost didn't want to believe it. After the factory, I thought I might just find some solace if I could just get to Norman's store. But all I found were more horrors and more questions. Now that I really considered it, that's when I should have seen it coming. Norman, you rotten son of a bitch, you get what you deserved in the end. I realize that now. I thought we were all friends. What had happened? What did she do to you? Or was it what she didn't do? I didn't know what happened to him exactly. Maybe he was murdered, maybe he took his own life, but it was difficult, if not impossible, to feel any real grief. When I had marched through the rain towards home, I desperately clung to the hope that this would end, and I guess in a way it did, but how could I have known how hopeless it all was? I had started to feel as disoriented as when I sleepwalked, to think of it now. Coming through the back door and into the kitchen should have tipped me off that something was horribly wrong. There was no sound of television, radio, even the air was still. But seeing Rachel there, lying ruined and discarded in the basement, that was a horror I could never have imagined. That other man I had found was involved in all of this. I knew it, but it was Norman, that traitorous son of a bitch who had done the deed. Whatever was going on, he was the one who took Rachel away from me. I hated him for that more than I could possibly express, but that offered no strength, no solace. Rachel was gone now, and I was too forever. As I swung open the door and stepped out into the air, I caught the scent of wet grass and fog. Rachel, my beautiful wife, just the thought of her again, cold and inert, shook me from my head to my toe. What would I do? What would I do now? Who would I turn to? It would only be a matter of time before the police got involved, before the neighbors knew. The front lawn was soft and giving beneath my feet, and I couldn't shake the urge that I shouldn't stand there, but rather that I should run. Oh. And that game is over. Narrated to you by In Bed with Red. I hope you enjoyed this game. I'll be back soon with another game.